Hello everyone, this is Brian with ZimCo Survival, and today I'm going to be doing a review for you guys on a fairly new product from Exotac, the Exotac TitanLight. Now, I've had this for a while now, I've had it for a few months, as always. I'm doing some testing on it, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what I truly think of this lighter. There are some definite benefits and some very significant drawbacks. So I'm going to try to go through this as best I can and just kind of give you guys the facts. I'm also going to go over some questions. I'm going to try to answer them for you guys, questions a lot of people have had that haven't been able to get answers to, including myself. Before I bought this lighter, I asked a bunch of questions and I could not get any answers. So I'm going to try to answer those for you guys now. Full disclosure, I did not get this for free. I paid the full $50 for this lighter because I wanted to check it out for myself, but also because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a review on it and hopefully answer those questions I wasn't able to get the answers to. So let's go ahead and start out with the review. Now, this lighter is a ZimCo style liquid fuel lighter in a peanut fashion, I guess you could say. This lighter is waterproof and airtight, and the airtight nature of it gives a little bit of a problem that we will talk about later in the video. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about this, and then we're going to go to my little tabletop here, my little makeshift table, and I'm going to show you how to take it apart, put it back together again, and how to fill it properly. So let's go ahead and get into the stats of the lighter itself. It's about 3 inches tall. It's about a ½ an inch around. It is all machined aluminum, so there is no welding or anything on this lighter. It is, each piece is one piece machined. It is smooth here, which I would have liked some jibbing of some kind to hold on to it a little bit better. But it does have a new type of screw cap. So basically, if you look there, it is a 3/4 turn to unscrew it. And once you hit 3/4, it comes off. So you don't have to sit there and unscrew and unscrew and unscrew to take it off, which I really like. It does have a lanyard loop up here that's also part of the lid, so you don't have to worry about it breaking off or anything like that. Let's go ahead and get into the interior of the lighter, which is right here. As you guys can see, it does have a ZimCo style windshield, so when you do light it, it is wind resistant, fairly wind resistant. If you do blow down in there though, it will go out, and strong gusts will still put it out, kind of like a ZimCo. Has an O-ring seal here, and let me go ahead and put the top on here. On the bottom you have another screw that you take off. It also has an O-ring, and that is where you fill the lighter from. There is enough room in there for you to put some wicks, or not wicks, flints, to keep with your lighter. But basically, there it is. It is a round ZimCo that is airtight, air and water tight. But, which I thought was really cool, but I found some problems with it. So let me see how I can best describe it. It's a win and a fail all at once. It's a good design, has all the benefits of a ZimCo and the benefits of a peanut lighter. But because of the fact that the fuel chamber here is actually physically inside of itself, where a normal peanut style lighter has a canister that slides down into an outer casing, that allows air pressure to equalize within the chamber. This does not have that. It is literally one piece. The fuel chamber itself is part of the housing. So because this thing is airtight, it has a tendency to build up air pressure inside of the housing here when you close it up after you fill it. And that air pressure forces the fuel, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but it forces the fuel out alongside the wick. It bubbles, it physically bubbles the fuel up out through that top of the wick, unless you fill it up exactly the right amount. and I mean exactly. So we'll get into that, and I'll show you all of that in a little bit, and I'll talk to you about how much fuel exactly goes in there in just a second. But let me go ahead and get you guys to the tabletop, and we will go ahead and pull this thing apart, and I'll show you guys how to make, how to use it, how to switch flints and stuff like that. But after that, we'll go into the questions and answers, and then I'll give you guys the benefits and the drawbacks, and you can hopefully decide for yourselves which way you want to go, whether you want to buy it or hold off. So hold on just a second. Alright, so here you have the lighter itself, and basically we're going to take the top off, and that is what it's going to look like inside. Now you can see a little bit better in there. It is fairly well used. Now, to change out the wick in the, or not the wick, but the actual flint in here, what you're gonna, you have this little pin right here, and the top is actually spring loaded. So what you have to do is you have to push this top down to release pressure on this pin, and then you can pull the pin out just like this. Let me see if I can show it to you. Pull the pin out. Once you pull the pin out, this top here just comes apart, just like that. And you can see all the extra fuel on there. So you guys know I'm not exactly lying about that. And then the flint is going to be in this little hole right here. Okay? Now I still have a flint, so I'm not going to worry about that. There you have it. That is how you switch out the flint. There's a problem with this design though, and that is this little pin only goes in one way, and you don't know which way it goes in until you've already put it together. So let me see if I can show you the wrong way. See here, right there, if I try to put it in that way, it stops like that. Now it won't go in any farther, and it's a pain to get back out. So go ahead and yank it out there. Then you got this side right here. Slide that in, slides in just fine. But they both look exactly the same. So you have that side and that side. Wrong side, right side. The only way I've been able to tell is to make sure that the windshield is facing my right hand. That way I know that I'm putting it in the right way. But there's no way to know whether you're doing it right or not until you get the pin all the way in. And that is really annoying. I think that is a poorly designed feature. I think there should be some way to identify which side is right and wrong before you put the pin in. So let's go ahead and show you guys. I'm not going to fill it because it's already full. In fact, it's a little bit over full. And if I put any more in there, the lighter is basically going to be unusable for a little while. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how I figured out how to fill it up. Basically, I just take and unscrew this cap here, and I put 1 cap's worth of fluid in here. I fill this up and then use it as a little measuring cup, pour it in, and that's all I do. If you add any more than that at all, it will be over full. As you can see here, I have overfilled it myself. And there's a lot of excess fluid down inside of that chamber there that's bubbled out. But if you do overfill it, leave the top off, set it down on the ground, and walk away for a little bit. Let the air pressure equalize on its own. It'll take a couple of hours, and let some of that fuel evaporate off. Otherwise, you will light yourself on fire. I have managed to do that myself many times. It is not particularly fun. So let me go ahead, now that I'm done with this portion, I'm going to go ahead and do the Q&A. Like I said, it's very, very simple. You unscrew this, press this down, pop that little pin out, and there's going to be a little hole underneath the wheel. That's where your flint is. Very simple, easy to do, nothing complicated. But let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons and answer a couple of questions you guys might have. Hold on just a second. Alright, so pros and cons. Some problems with this lighter. Well, let's start with the good stuff first. It is all aluminum. It is really well machined. The fit and finish is fantastic. It is absolutely waterproof and absolutely airproof. That's about where the benefits stop for me. As far as the drawbacks go, there are several. Number one, the brass pin right here is very loose. As soon as you push that thing down, it will have a tendency to fall out, or at least in mine. Which means that I have actually almost lost that pin several times. Once in the leaves, and it took me almost an hour to find it. So you have to be very careful which way this thing is facing. It has to be facing like this, so that the big piece here is facing up when you push it down. Otherwise the pin will literally fall out into the leaves or the grass or wherever it is that you happen to be, unless your hand is literally covering the underneath it like that when it falls. And I've done it, you know, I'm a forgetful person, and I've done it, and it fell out in the leaves, and it took me almost an hour to find it. And that was just one of several times that's happened to me. Most of the time it didn't take that long to find it again, but in that particular instance it did. So that is a drawback for me. I think the pin should fit just a little bit tighter so it doesn't do that. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is that it doesn't take a Zippo wick. I really wish it did, but it doesn't. It takes about 3 Zippo wicks to equal the size of the wick that's in there standard. And it doesn't work if you just use one. I've tried it, it doesn't work. You really do need to have 3 wicks. If you're using Zippo wicks, 3 wicks in here to make it work. Otherwise the wick literally just slides in and out. You know, it doesn't work. So that's problem number 2. Problem number 3, which is in my opinion one of the biggest when it comes to this lighter, is going to be the air pressure problem. Because I've lit myself on fire, and I'm not joking, at least a dozen times, at least. And that shouldn't happen with a lighter like this, to the point where you have to be so careful about how much fuel you add to this, because if it overfills, the first thing it's going to do is light your hand on fire. For a $50 lighter, that should have been better thought through. There should have been some kind of preliminary testing to go into it, and they should have realized before they put it out for production that that it was actually a problem. And the 3 milliliter amount they give you online is too much, at least for my lighter. I don't know if, you know, mine's just finicky, or, you know, if that's pretty much the standard, but 3 milliliters of fluid in this thing, and I measured it out to the milliliter using a syringe, and 3 milliliters was too much. It very, very quickly bubbled over and left a lot of extra lighter fluid that I had to let dry out and let the pressure equalize and everything else. So this lighter right here, as it sits right now, I would not purchase it. I think it's a great lighter, it's a great concept, but I think some changes need to be done. So I would wait until V2, the Exotac TitanLight V2, because the first generation just has too many problems, especially to be worth that kind of a price. So if they can find a way to better handle the pressure without having this thing overflow, if they can find a way to tighten up that little brass pin, that would be great, and make it so you can use a regular Zippo wick, that would be great. But until then, until those problems are addressed, I cannot recommend this lighter. Based on my own testing over the past couple of months, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Don't buy it, at least not at 50 bucks. So there you have it. That's my review and my honest opinion of this lighter. Thank you guys for watching. You cannot purchase this on Amazon, and because I cannot support it, I will not post a link to it. But if you guys are determined to buy it, you can go ahead and purchase it at either fiddleback.com or on exotac.com. So there you have it. I'm not going to post links to it. I do not believe you should buy it. So there you have it. I'm not going to make it easy for you. But as always, if you like this video, hit the like button and hit the like button and subscribe. I will be posting an affiliate link to a lighter that I think is better, that is very similar to this, called the Tohil Peanut Lighter. I will post a link to that because I think it is an excellent lighter. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. And hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that.